Hi, everybody. I'm Jay Skinner, and this is the pre-show for the Buyers and Sellers Show. Give everybody a chance to get on. I'll play a song. Well, summertime, yeah, and the living is easy. The fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. I'm Jay Skinner, and this is the pre-show for the Buyers and Sellers Show. And in a couple of minutes at 10:35, we're giving everybody a chance to get on. We're going to have Dr. Blayne Baker. He's going to be with us. I've gotten to know him in the last year or so, and I said, you should be on the Buyers and Sellers Show. There's so much wisdom packed into you and what you're doing. He said, sure, I'll do that. So you're going to get to know Dr. Baker. Oh, yeah. Give everybody a chance to get on. And we're live. Hi, everybody. Wow, we got a great crowd here. I'm so glad you're here. And so many of you have heard about Dr. Blayne Baker with Atlas Chiropractic, the owner. And I'm going to bring him on right now. He's back in the green room, and here he comes. Hi, Dr. Baker. How are you?
Hey, Jay. Great. How are you?
Fantastic. So glad to have you here on the show today. This is going to be cool. We've got lots of people, and I want to encourage everyone. I'm just going to put something in here right now, www.thejskinner.com. This is my website, and I'm doing this to show everyone where the comments go. And so if you're on a platform that has the ability to comment live, you probably see this right here. And I want to encourage you, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, to jump in. If you've got any comments, we'd love to hear from you. That's what makes the show so good. So everybody, thank you for coming. Right now, Dr. Baker, we're going to get right into it. How's that?
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to about health healing.
There's that. And Atlas Chiropractic. So let's just start with this. How long and what's your story? What got you to where you are as a chiropractor? And just talk to us a little bit.
Okay. Well, as you see there, we're in Fishers, Indiana. I grew up in northern Indiana, Plymouth, and I had horrible allergies as a kid. I was taking multiple allergy medications a day. My mother had some low back issues and sciatic nerve pain. So she sought a chiropractor in Plymouth. And I went with her, and I began to get interested in chiropractic. And I firmly believe that chiropractic is what resolved my allergies. I learned at that chiropractor that the nerves in the upper cervical spine connect to the sinuses, the brain, and the brain stem. It can impact things like histamine. And within months of seeing a chiropractor, I have now lived over half my life allergy free. So, when it changed my life, I knew right away that this is what I was going to do.
I love it. What a great story. And we've already got a fan. Neil Harmon, thank you for coming. He says, yay, Dr. Baker, the best chiropractor ever. Absolutely. And I'm so happy, Neil, that you're here. Let's see. There seems to be some other. Let's see. Tamara Taru says, how exciting, Tamara. Awesome. So glad you're here. Thanks for coming. The idea behind this, and I will say I found Dr. Baker at an event. He's very smart about sales and marketing and promotion and knowing how to get the word out, because we're the buyers and sellers show. So you're either selling or buying when you're on this show. And most of us are doing both. And I found him at an event, was there with one of your people there. Let's look at your group. I want to go down here. I've got a picture here I want to show you. Maybe you can tell me about your people. It was Bella that I met at that show, but tell us about your group and how important is this group?
Oh yes, they are the dream team. I could not do Atlas Chiropractic without them. On the far left is my wife, Taylor. She's been with me every step of the way, of course, opening up Atlas Chiropractic in 2018. To the other side of me is Bella. You met her at that Business Expo. She's been with us for a couple of years now. And then to the far right is Rachel, who we met her at a church. I did a health talk at a church. We call them lunch and learns, just spreading the word about health and healing naturally from the inside out, which really is the only way it happens. Rachel came into our office, has had some great success with her migraines. I think she was spending $300 a month on migraine meds that she hasn't needed for several years now. It's been a great experience for her, and she's actually been a part of Atlas Chiropractic for like 4 years now. So she's a great part of the team as well.
Awesome. And it's a great group. And if you go see Dr. Baker, you're going to get to see these people, and they're wonderful. Let's see if we got some more people here. Tamara says, he is great. Yes, he is. Oh, this is great. I love everybody jumping in there and with their comments and thoughts. So this is good. So Dr. Baker, the world that you're in is just, how long ago was it that you started this company?
We started Atlas Chiropractic. We opened officially April of 2018. I graduated chiropractic school September of 2017. So officially, I opened up the business 2 months after graduating chiropractic school, going through the business process, opening up the business. We looked for real estate, secured financing through the Small Business Administration, and we just got going from there. And like I said, we had our grand opening April 16th of 2018. Had an awesome grand opening, the big scissors and stuff, a lot of fun. And we just hit the ground running. And our goal is to have the biggest impact we can and really spread the message of how healing comes from inside out. And you can take a pill for things and treat the effect, but if you don't get to the root cause and let the body do its job, then it's not going to heal its best.
Exactly. And one of the things is this idea of a principled business perspective of how you approach business in general. And if you have any tips or ideas for people getting started out there in any new business, what would you have to say?
Well, if you're trying to open up a business, it's kind of a catch-22. You have to be both conservative in a financial sense and living within your means and operating a budget, things like that, while at the same time having the ability to take some risk too. So it's definitely a juggling act between the two, but definitely a worthwhile thing to have such an impact on the community.
It is. Look, you are famous, man. Look at all these people. This is
Saravanan.
Saravanan. How do I say it?
I take care of his wife in our office.
Hey, Baker, good to see you here. Oh, Saravanan, thank you for coming. And then Neil's got a comment. Let's see. He says, you were at the grand opening and have been with him ever since.
Oh, yes. Neil actually comes to our office in Fishers. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. So it's really just the technique we use and the gentle specificity of it, which, we may or may not get into, but draws people to us from quite far away.
Yes. And when we were talking about principled business perspective, what are some ideas, principles that apply generally to everybody in business that are important to you?
Well, I think to me, the beauty of capitalism is if you are a good, honest, ethical person and bringing value for value, it's going to be a win-win. That's the only way it is. So, and in terms of principled in healthcare, in a healthcare sense, the great news is the more value we bring to others, the greater everybody is all around,
Yes. And that everyone, you got to know, I mean, I'm a customer too. I'm one of Dr. Baker's patients, and I love it. And that's another reason he's on the show, because I'm behind this 1000%. And he is bringing a principled business perspective. And then there's another part of what he's doing that he calls neurologically based scientific chiropractic care. Oh my gosh, what's that about?
Well, just to end that last note as we go into this next one, everything has to be sold. You can sell good things, you can sell bad things. You might as well sell something that's going to bring value to people. So neurologically based scientific chiropractic care, kind of a catchphrase we have in our office. So everybody knows about chiropractic in the most traditional mechanical, mechanistic sense of moving a bone off of a nerve, but we really just specify on the nervous system itself because, I mean, we live in a very reactive, sick care society. And I would almost say we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. Chiropractic, I would say, is healthcare. It's proactive. It's preventative, because take something as simple as a muscle spasm, for example. There's never in the history of man been a muscle spasm without a cause. Medicine says, here, take a pill. If you have muscle spasms, you must need muscle relaxants. But that assumes the body's made a mistake. I think that's not possible. The innate wisdom that designed the body, I don't believe makes mistakes. So mechanically, it's easier to think about. Think about the alignment of the spine. And if a bone's out of place, the muscles are going to pull. It's like a tug of war. They're pulleys. So something as simple as that can be thought of as if you realign the spine back into proper position, then the muscles don't pull so hard. And, to tie that in, people often say, oh, well, my back hurts today, but don't worry, I think it's muscular. And I'm thinking, well, there's really no such thing as just muscular, because muscles are controlled by nerves fundamentally, and they're connected to bone. So if we change the position of bone, we change the position of muscles and can change the way nerves operate as well.
And I'm looking at your website right now, Dr. Baker, and this reflects the values and the principles that you talk about.
Yeah.
The family care, true correction. You even deal with pregnancy and newborns, preventative health care. I never even thought about that. What's this about preventative health care? I mean, it's like, I thought you come to the chiropractor because your back hurts. Now, I really know the answer, but
that is true. That brings many people into our doors, but our job, in fact, the word doctor in Latin means teacher. So it's all about just educating people that, sure, your back might have started hurting yesterday, but every ache and pain has a cause. And if your body's giving you a message, we ought to listen to it, not just take a pill and cover it up. That's palliative, like a mask. And I'd rather get to the root cause and be proactive with my health. There's an old expression in chiropractic, which is chiropractic adds years to your life and life to your years.
So now when we're talking about the work that you do, oh, look, we've got some other people here. Look at this. Look at this. Who is this?
Yes, that's my wife, Taylor, office manager.
Atlas Yoga, Taylor Baker, the innate wisdom that designed the body doesn't make mistakes. Yes. And that is God. and I follow Jesus. You know that, and I think you do too.
Yes.
And when I'm thinking about what God did to bring us about, to create us, you're working together with Him to make good things happen, aren't you?
You know, the original chiropractor, his son, B.J. Palmer, had an expression that chiropractors work with the subtle substance of the soul. What's inside the spine is your power cord. That's what connects your brain to your body. He would go on to say, the subtle substance of the soul that winged the bird and fanged the beast, and then through eons of time gave rise to the crown glory of them all. But, you know, Jay, people would ask him, is chiropractic going to cure appendicitis or the flu? You know what he would say? Have you more faith in a spoonful of medicine than in the power that animates the soul? Just a cool,
I like it.
very poetic man, B.J. Palmer was.
We were talking about this brain body power supply, and it's all together. And one of the things, if anyone goes to visit Dr. Baker, what you're seeing here, the conversation and the talk, is his heart soul deep in him. And he's like, the experience, the 5 minutes worth of adjustment time that I have as I do the process with you, or 10 minutes or whatever's involved, he's not only doing his work where he's touching you and he's using a special device that I'm going to show you here in a minute, but he's also educating. And from the very beginning, so much of what your people were doing was educating. Tell me about that customer experience that you've created there that's like duplicatable and wonderful, and I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay. Well, we always say in our office behind the scenes, we want to be the Disney of chiropractic, both in terms of the systematic, duplicable procedures that we have. So when people come in, they know they're going to get the same excellent experience each and every time. But the education process, again, is critical. The word doctor in Latin comes from the word docere, which means to teach. So that's what we do from hopefully the moment you walk into the doors, you get that impression. Everybody gets a tour of the office when they come in, just to, feel at home and know where things are. They get a neurological and a muscular evaluation using some pretty cool technology we use, which helps us locate the cause of the problem within the body. Rather than seeking from outside in, we seek from inside out. And then we take x-rays. So that way we have a look at how muscles are holding the vertebrae, how nerves are operating, and then structurally what your spine looks like. Then putting those together, we go over that with you. And what the coolest thing is, somebody will come in with numbness in their hand and they've been told they need to have carpal tunnel surgery,
Mm-hmm.
And you can cut the carpal tunnel open and sure, that'll release pressure. But if you don't get to the root cause, and what's wild, Jay, is the aches and pains that bring people into our office so often correspond with bodily dysfunction in an organic sense. Each and every organ. I mean, your heart doesn't even beat without your brain signaling down through your spine. There's a receptor on the heart that gets all of its impulses from the spine. The same is true for the lungs. You can't digest food without your brain signaling. I often joke, everybody knows the brain controls the body, but it's not Bluetooth, it's wires, and the wires are in the spine. So keeping that thing in line forms a clear canal. So there's no kinks in the hose, so to speak.
Now you have a friend here, Lisa Leahy. She's a RN, IBCLC, OMT. She says, I appreciate Dr. Baker's positivity and anatomy and physiology facts. As a nurse, healthcare forgets wellness and focuses on illness. And then she came back and said, I want a free lunch from a business card bowl. Rachel was a good saleswoman, and I couldn't agree more. Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you for those comments. That's part of the teaching that you do, and she appreciates that, and she knows that what you're saying is true stuff.
Yeah, and I never ever want to be a pushy salesman. I don't think we come across that way at all. But again, we're fighting a big fight against the big pharmaceutical industry that wants to poison us with their chemical concoctions, when I believe that the body's design is where the healing comes from. And so again, I'd rather
Well,
get
let's
cause.
talk about this then. The American Medical Association versus the Chiropractic Association.
Yeah.
If nothing else, there's people sitting here saying, oh, this is not anything. Well, I want you to help people understand exactly what happened and where we are as it relates to the science of chiropractic.
Sure. Yep. Everybody's heard the expression, "Oh, don't go see those quacks," or chiropractors. They'll paralyze you. They'll give you a stroke. So this has been an ongoing dogmatic approach by the American Medical Association since chiropractic's inception back in 1895, after the first chiropractic adjustment was given to a man who was deaf after something fell on his head, dislodged a bone in his neck, putting pressure on the acoustic nerve. He had the first adjustment, and with time and repetition, his hearing was restored and chiropractic was born. Right away, the pharmaceutical industry saw through this as a way to cut down on their profit. So in the 1920s, chiropractic was growing in popularity. So the federal government, through its lobbying, part of the AMA lobbies with this, to ban chiropractic. Chiropractic was considered people practicing medicine without a license, and chiropractors insisted, no, we are not practicing medicine. We're not prescribing medicine. The best doctors give the least medicine, in fact. So actually 600 of the original chiropractors were wrongfully imprisoned for practicing chiropractic. One man was in prison 13 times. The funny thing is, every time he went to prison, he kept on adjusting. He would adjust the prison guards, and there would be his patients outside of the jail with picket fence and signs saying, "Let my doctor out." And there was so much pushback that this actually, Jay, went to the Supreme Court. I forget if it was 1978, 1982. It took way too long to get there. But anyway, the American Medical Association was found guilty of libel, slander, mischaracterization. And since that date, this is called the Wilkes case. Yes, chiropractic won. WILKS. You ought to look it up for some more information. He is the chiropractor who took the American Medical Association to court, won the lawsuit. And since that date, this still happens, sadly, but technically it's illegal for a medical doctor to tell somebody not to see a chiropractor because they really don't know what we're even looking for and what we're doing.
Yes. And one of the things is, I'm going to show something to someone. They're going to go, this is shocking. I've never seen this before.
Ah, yes.
What is this device? And explain how this is used and compared to what people are familiar with in chiropractic from the past.
Yeah. People typically think chiropractic, I'm going to, put your hands on somebody and manipulate. You'll hear popping and cracking sounds. This is, I have it with me actually. This is the integrator. It's actually the only single FDA approved device in chiropractic designed for just one purpose, which is how can we most carefully and specifically realign the vertebrae of the spine back into the proper position. Just to show you how it works, I set the instrument like this, and in 1/10,000th of a second, mathematically, that moves a bone 100 times faster than hands can move a bone. If you've ever heard of the equation, force is mass times acceleration. People say, how is that little clicky thing moving my bones? Mm-hmm. Well, if it's 100 times faster than hands can move a bone, then it needs 1/100th of the force. Or in other words, if it's 100 times faster, therefore it's 100 times gentler, while also being more precise than my fingers could ever be, my hands could ever be. So the precision, the reproducibility, and the speed are some pretty key aspects to getting a more effective adjustment and to getting the spine to hold the position for longer term health in a neurological sense.
And so when I'm in the position of being adjusted, he's using this integrator. That's the right word?
Yep, that's right.
And very specifically applying that click to the right spots to open up the ways. And do you have some sort of a way to illustrate what you're accomplishing with this?
Oh, yes, always.
Okay, good. Show us.
This is a spine model, just the upper 3 vertebrae. The top bone there is called the Atlas bone because Atlas, the Greek god, the mythological character, held the world on his shoulders. Similarly, your Atlas bone holds up your brain, which sits inside the skull there. But here's the posterior, the back view. these little spikes you see, when you touch your spine and feel the spiky things, this is the backside. They're called spinous processes. But what happens is when a bone misaligns out of its proper position, it can, you're moving around doing yard work or whatever, you hear something pop in your back, that's actually a vertebrae misaligning. And people say, well, my back doesn't hurt, I don't need a chiropractor. And I just say, don't brush your teeth if your teeth don't hurt then. That's just a reactive way to do it, instead of let's get to the root cause before it has to hurt. And if it hurts, I want to help you with that too. But the thing is, these nerves that exit the side of the spine, most nerves in the human body don't feel pain. 92% of nerves. This is one of the biggest revelations in neuroscience of the last 30 years or so. 8% of nerves in the human body feel pain. So anyway, back to the integrator. When a bone's out of place, that puts pressure on nerves. So as using this instrument, we set the instrument and get the right vector, the right angle to reposition that bone back into its proper spot, getting pressure off the nerve so things feel better mechanically, but things function better so your brain gets the right signals to the right places. And that's when healing is achieved.
Awesome. And we've got some more fans here. Let's see. Arch K1, walking tall, feeling great because of this man. Dr. Baker is awesome.
A very great bowler, Kevin.
He's a what?
A great bowler.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
And now he's testifying to the benefits of that integrator. Oh, and he's saying torque release is huge. No pain, no bending and twisting or snapping, just the perfect release of the bones that are out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I have to say the same thing. I've been through and involved with chiropractic over my life multiple times. This has been great. And as a personal testimony, one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was be able to move around and be more fluid. And I was beginning to feel tight. And in the course of a few months here of this work, now I can get up, go from 0 to 100 in like seconds, running, dodging back and forth. I can move like I used to, and I'm so thankful for that. And I attribute that directly to the work that you're doing with me.
Thank you so much. And I just want to tell you that chiropractic doesn't fix anything, but when your spine's in line, your body knows what to do, because communication is key. And that's central command,
Awesome. Greg Sneed. Hey, Greg, good to see you. Happy Friday. Glad you're here. All right. So we talked about a chance to see Dr. Baker. And one of the things is there's people literally all over the world watching this show now and later, the replays. And what I have to say is get in your private plane and come see him. There's a private airport down the street in Fishers, and people fly in and out all day long.
Yeah.
However, there's sometimes people just can't organize that. Okay. And that being the case, what can they do in terms of trying to get the kind of care that you deliver?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to have the biggest impact we possibly can on our community. But for those who can't make it to Fishers or Indianapolis area, I'm glad you posted that. Feel free to call our office, 317-588-0200. We can help you find another torque release chiropractor. That's torque release. That's the technique behind this instrument, the integrator. Anywhere in the country, even other places around the world, so you and your family and friends can get the healthcare you need.
Exactly. Well, this has been great, Dr. Baker, and I'd like to just give you a chance. If there's something that you would like to share with our audience, particularly, the stage is yours.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just finish by talking about in our office on a daily basis, we have daily research handouts. And those are at the front, right? When you come in for your adjustment. The last couple of days, we had a research article called the Windsor Autopsy Study. Many years ago, a medical doctor named Dr. Windsor set up an autopsy study. In fact, he was trying to disprove the effect chiropractic has on organ function, and he actually ended up proving chiropractic. He did an autopsy on 300 dogs, cats, and humans, looking for, of course, cause of death. Call it kidney failure. You did the autopsy, cut him open. He traced the nerve in the spine to the organ which was the apparent cause of death, Dr. Henry Windsor found a 98% correlation between spinal nerve miscommunication and organ failure. So I think this really is an important thing for your health. Again, feel free to reach out. We will help you find a chiropractor anywhere in the country who uses a gentle, neurologically based approach. We often say after the adjustment, the power's on, because if that's your power cord and chiropractic isn't fixing anything, we're just flipping the switches and clearing the circuits. So again, Jay, thank you so much for the opportunity to come share some information on chiropractic with you guys.
Great having you. And I'm going to say, if you can go back to the green room, if you have time to hang out for a minute, that'd be awesome. I'd love to come back and visit with you. Don't eat all the fruit, because I always like to snack on that stuff too.
All right, I'll see you there.
Talk to you later. Thank you. And everyone, this has been the Buyers and Sellers Show. I want to thank everyone for coming. What a great group. And then there's a delay here, so I just want you to know, we have one other comment that says, thank you, Dr. Baker. You and your staff are absolutely incredible. I couldn't recommend this team more. Absolutely the best. Thank you for that comment. Thanks for joining in. So many good participants today. Really appreciate the time together. And I'll be here again on the Buyers and Sellers Show. And by the way, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, there's my information, jay@thejskinner.com. You can find me. I'm very available, just like Dr. Baker is. We're here to help everyone be more successful. And that's the goal in life for all of us. Have a great day. See you next week. Well, I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Yeah. Well, I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Whoa. Got some crazy little chiropractors. Oh, I'll take that. I'm going to get me one. See you next week. Thanks for coming.